Hello students. So physics, if we talk about physics, there are various quantities which require more than a number as the information part. यानी बहुत सारी क्वांटिटीज़ हमारे फिजिक्स में ऐसी आती हैं जहाँ पर उन क्वांटिटीज़ को अगर आप यूनिकली डिफाइन करना चाहते हो, इफ़ यू वांट to have a unique definition for those quantities, you need at least three values. You need at least three things for the unique determination of certain physical quantities. For the certain physical quantities, we need following three factors. Factor 1, which you need for the measurement, is the value of quantity. What is the value of our physical quantity? Which is sometimes called as magnitude. So what is the value of physical quantity? Right, this is the first part. Second factor which is required for unique determination of certain physical quantities is in which direction they are. And the third quantity which is required for their unique measurement is what was the unit of measurement. So following three quantities are very important for certain physical quantity. I am using certain word again and again because there are some quantities which do not require all the three parameters. For example, if you want to convey your weight, or your mass, if you want to tell your mass and you simply say that my mass is 50 kilogram, you never tell that your mass is 50 kilogram in a specific direction. So if you want to tell about your mass, you just say 50, which is a number, and then kilogram. So this kilogram is the unit part, a unit of measurement, and this 50 is called the value of the physical quantity. That is point number 1. So you need point number 1 and you need point number 3. But point number 2 is not required for this quantity. डायरेक्शन बताने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि आपके मास में कितना डायरेक्शन है. दैट इज़ अ कम्प्लीटली मीनिंगलेस स्टेटमेंट. Whereas in certain quantities the answer is incomplete if the point number 2 is missing. For example, if you want to tell someone that you have a displacement, you have a displacement and your displacement was supposed that 20 kilometer, and now this is incomplete information. And why it is incomplete information? Displacement is not a quantity which can be uniquely determined by 20, which is the magnitude, and kilometer, which is the unit, because traveling 20 kilometer also requires one more information, in which direction. If you start from your place and just move for 20 kilometer, then there must be a specific direction in which you are moving, and that direction could be your east direction, west direction, north direction, south direction, and whatever. So displacement 20 kilometer is incomplete without the direction part. So we need to tell the direction here, and let the direction is, for example, east. So this 20, which is our point number 1, the value, kilometer is the point number 3, which is the unit of measurement, and this east is the point number 2, which is direction. सो अगर आपको किसी क्वांटिटी को यूनिक डिफाइन करने के लिए, उस क्वांटिटी की यूनिक डिटर्मिनेशन के लिए इन तीनों चीज़ों की ज़रूरत पड़ती है, देन आप उसको कह सकते हो इन फिजिक्स और इन मैथमेटिक्स यू कैन कॉल दैट दिस क्वांटिटी इज़ अ वेक्टर क्वांटिटी, वेयर एज दिस अदर क्वांटिटी इज कॉल्ड एज आवर स्केलर क्वांटिटी. सो दैट्स द बेसिक डिफरेंस बिटवीन द स्केलर एंड वेक्टर. नाउ हाउ डू वी रिप्रेजेंट vector? And why do we represent vector? How do we represent vector is the second part. Before that, why do we represent vector? And not only vector, what is the purpose of representation? And we all know that representation is something like a kind of communication. You represent your data in chart form, you represent your data in graphical form, you represent in various other forms. Sometimes you represent a message in a picture form, sometimes you represent your message in a symbolic form. So representation is simply a kind of coding. It is simply a kind of communication between two persons. So if I want to communicate regarding vectors, I must have certain way of representing it. I must have certain way of representing the vector. And one of the ways of representing a vector, is plotting them by an arrow. So representing a vector, it is done by plotting or drawing an arrow. The length of arrow represent the number of quantity, that is the magnitude. The direction of arrow represent the direction of the vector. So if I plot a vector, if I want to represent a vector, I need to draw one arrow. I just need to draw an arrow pointing in the specific direction. I need to plot an arrow which points in the specific direction, and the length of this arrow, the length of this arrow is a representation of the magnitude of the vector. Since displacement is an example of vector, so now onward I will use a displacement as example for the vector. So अगर ये एक वेक्टर है एंड ये एक डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर है, so this length is a representation of the magnitude part, and this arrow points in the direction of our vector. And this length, suppose that by this arrow you are representing a vector. Denoted by capital S. So you will put a small arrow on the vector. You will put a small arrow on the alphabet which represents our physical quantity. Like if we are using alphabet capital S, it normally represent displacement, and a small arrow above it means that the displacement comes under vector category. Now this big arrow, length of the big arrow is value for the displacement. Length of the big arrow represents value for the displacement, and this length is normally represented as, the length of vector is represented as the alphabetical symbol of quantity without any arrow. So if you just use the alphabetical symbol, without any arrow, it means the length of arrow. In other words, it means what is the magnitude of arrow, that is what is the magnitude of physical quantity which is represented by this arrow. Sometimes the length of vector is also represented by putting the vector inside two vertical bars, and you call it magnitude or modulus of vector. So that's a very easy thing. The representation of vector is a very easy part. All you need to know is that vector on paper is represented by arrow which points in the direction of vector. For example, if your vector is in the east direction, this arrow should be towards east. If the vector is towards west direction, draw the arrow towards west. If the displacement or any other vector is in the south direction, draw the arrow towards south. Now the next part, डिस्प्लेसमेंट को मैं एज एग्जाम्पल यूज़ करने जा रहा हूँ, एज एन एग्जाम्पल, ठीक है. नाउ सपोज दैट दिस इज योर पेपर, है ना, दिस इज योर पेपर एंड लेट्स से योर हाउस इज एट अ पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन. लेट्स से दिस इज योर हाउस located at a particular point, and you want to go to a particular place, suppose that to some market. Now क्या तरीका होगा आपको अपने घर से इस मार्केट तक जाने के लिए, तरीका क्या होगा? एंड सपोज दैट आपके घर से एंड उस शॉप तक जाने के लिए जो रोड है, कनेक्टिविटी रोड्स जो बनाई गई हैं वहाँ पर बाय द गवर्नमेंट, तो वो रोड कुछ इस तरीके से है दैट एक रोड आपके हाउस से निकलती है, यहाँ जाती है ऐसे करके, इस टाइप से, दिस इज रोड, एंड देन वो रोड यहाँ से टर्न करती है, ठीक है, देन वो रोड यहाँ से टर्न हो जाता है एंड आफ्टर टर्निंग वो रोड उस शॉप की तरफ आता है. सपोज ये एक रोड है, ठीक है, दिस इज़ वन रोड. वहीं पर एक रोड और है आपके घर के पास, एक और रोड है, वो डायरेक्टली आपके हाउस से टुवर्ड्स द शॉप जाता है. ये रोड आपका ऐसे है. सो वहाँ पर भी एक रोड है और यहाँ पर भी एक रोड है. अब आप अपने घर से बाहर निकलते हो, आप अपने घर से बाहर निकलोगे और उस शॉप तक जाने के लिए कौन सा रास्ता चूज़ करोगे, है ना, विच पाथ यू विल प्रेफर टू रीच एट दिस पॉइंट. तो आप अगर अपने घर से बाहर आए तो देर आर टू पॉसिबिलिटीज़. सपोज यू कम आउट and you start walking on this road, so you travel from this point to this point, and then you take a turn and move on this road, you take a turn and move on the other road. So you first moved in this direction and then you continue to move in some other direction and you reached at your destination point. This is one way. What is the other way? What is the other way? You simply start from this point and travel along this road and you reach at the destination point. And that means whether you follow these, whether you move from one place to this place and then turn and continue moving towards the shop, or you directly move from the initial point to the final point, both processes will have same result. Both processes will have same result. And this is the whole idea behind triangle law, which we normally use for adding vectors. Like your first displacement, you started from this point, you reached here, so this was your first displacement vector. Then you added one more displacement, you took the first displacement, then you added one more displacement. So let's say this is our displacement number 1, this is our displacement number 2. After displacement 1, you add a displacement 2 and you reach to this point. And instead of using displacement 1 and displacement 2, if I directly move from the house to the destination point via this path, then this is my displacement capital S. And since both are giving the same result, you can write it as capital S. You can say that capital S is the resultant of S1 and S2. Remember, this is the whole idea of resultant. Capital S is the resultant of S1 and S2, and we normally denote it like S vector equals to S1 vector and plus S2 vector. सो ये पूरा आइडिया है, दिस इज द होल आइडिया बिहाइंड एडिशन ऑफ वेक्टर, दैट हाउ द टू वेक्टर्स आर एडेड एंड व्हाट इज द रिजल्टेंट ऑफ दोज टू वेक्टर्स। तो इसको जनरलाइज करें अगर, डिस्प्लेसमेंट के थ्रू आप इस एग्जांपल को समझोगे, बिकॉज डिस्प्लेसमेंट वेक्टर का ही एग्जांपल है। सो थ्रू डिस्प्लेसमेंट हम वेक्टर की प्रॉपर्टीज़ आपको सामने एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं, एंड नाउ इसको मैं जनरलाइज करने जा रहा हूँ। सो हाउ कैन वी जनरलाइज दिस स्टेटमेंट? मेक वन वेक्टर, add a second vector, and now you get resultant vector. So इसको अगर आप जनरलाइज करना चाहते हो तो जनरलाइजेशन इसको कुछ इस तरीके से कर सकते हैं। वी कैन जनरलाइज दिस स्टेटमेंट, एंड हाउ वी कैन जनरलाइज इज एज फॉलोज। लेट्स से वी हैव वेक्टर ए, एंड नाउ फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट वी कंटिन्यू इन द अदर डायरेक्शन बाय वेक्टर बी। Then this vector which starts from A and reach to the same point, it is just like our displacements, कि पहले आप यहाँ से यहाँ डिस्प्लेस करो, फिर यहाँ से यहाँ डिस्प्लेस करो, so you will reach at this point, and you will reach at the same point by this displacement also, and therefore this red arrow is called as resultant of A and B, and you can write it A plus B, and you can denote it as the vector R, which is resultant. And this whole law we call it triangle law, and this whole we call it triangle law for adding vectors. This whole law is triangle law for adding the vectors. Another way of adding vectors is law of parallelogram. Law of parallelogram. This is one more way to add the vectors. ठीक है, तो पहले मैं इसकी स्टेटमेंट लिखता हूँ, पहले स्टेटमेंट बोलता हूँ, आप ध्यान से सुनिएगा। व्हाट इज द स्टेटमेंट गिवन बाय द लॉ ऑफ पैरेललोग्राम, एंड देन इसके अंदर कुछ मैथमेटिकल प्रूविंग है। तो व्हाट इज द लॉ ऑफ पैरेललोग्राम? लिसन वेरी केयरफुली। सपोज वी हैव अ पॉइंट and we draw two vectors. We have a point and we draw two vectors in two different directions. We draw two vectors in two different directions from the same point. From one point, draw one vector in this direction and name it A. From the same point, you draw some other vector and name it as vector B. So one is A, other one is B. So we have drawn two vectors from one point, and we call them A and B. Now draw a line which is parallel to the A vector from the head of B vector. Draw a line which is parallel and equal to this length, and draw another line which is parallel and equals to length of vector B, and that means we will complete a parallelogram. And when you complete a parallelogram, then you draw one more vector from the same point. You draw one more vector from the same point, and now this one more vector is along diagonal of parallelogram. And this diagonal which is along parallelogram is denoted by capital R, and as per the statement of law of parallelogram, we say that this R vector is a resultant of A and B, and we can write R equals to A plus B. This is our law of parallelogram. मैं स्टेटमेंट फिर से बोल रहा हूँ यहाँ पर. Choose a point, let's say O. Choose a point O. Draw A vector in one direction and B vector in some other direction. Then draw two more lines to complete a parallelogram including A and B. Once we have completed the parallelogram, we need to draw one more vector from the same point O, and this one more vector is always along the diagonal of the parallelogram, and this one more additional vector which we are drawing along the diagonal is called as resultant of A vector and B vector, resultant of A and B. Now अब मुझे मेरा जो my next target is let's say the angle which A and B vectors are making is theta. Let's say this angle is theta. So what is my target now? If I know this length, which is length of A, I know this length which is length of B, and I know this angle theta. So let me write, what do I know now? So known is, you know the length of A vector, you know the length of B vector, and you also know angle between A and B. And what is unknown for us? What is unknown for us? So the unknown value for us is length of vector r, that is resultant. Length of vector r is unknown. So through mathematics हम लोग यहाँ पर derive करने जा रहे हैं कि if we know these three values, then how can we find this value? And this is now a mathematical process. That is, if length, अच्छा मैं यहाँ length use कर रहा हूँ, I am using the length word, but this length means the magnitude. So if you know the magnitude of vector A, if you know the magnitude of vector B, and you also know what is the angle between these two vectors, then how can we find magnitude or length of the vector which is resultant of A and B? So start कर रहे हैं, इसको कैसे निकालेंगे? मैंने कहा मैथमेटिक्स है, मैथमेटिकल पोर्शन है, तो मैथमेटिकल पोर्शन में इसको कैसे डील कर रहा है देखते हैं। यहाँ पर क्या करना होगा आपको, लेट्स से ये पॉइंट हमने कुछ नाम दे देते हैं इसको ना, ये ओ पॉइंट था, एंड लेट्स से कि ये जो पॉइंट है ये कुछ कोई पॉइंट पी नाम दे देते हैं इसको। सो हम क्या करने जा रहे हैं, सबसे पहले जो वेक्टर ए है, वी विल एक्सटेंड द लाइन ऑफ वेक्टर ए. So you draw a line which is extension, that is the extension of vector A, extension of vector A. Then drop a perpendicular from point P on this extension, drop a perpendicular from point P on this extension, and let's say this point is capital Q. Let's say मैं यहाँ पर एक और नाम दे देता हूँ, इसको कुछ से कैपिटल एस नाम दे देते हैं, इस पॉइंट को हम कैपिटल एस नाम दे देते हैं। अब अगर आप थोड़ी सी मैथमेटिक्स लगाओ, है ना, थोड़ी सी मैथमेटिक्स लगाओ तो कैसे लगा सकते हो। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एंगल पी एस क्यू, आई मीन दिस एंगल, एंगल पी एस क्यू मतलब ये एंगल, तो ये जो एंगल होगा, ये एंगल और ये एंगल बराबर होंगे, बिकॉज ये पूरा फिगर एक पैरेललोग्राम है, एंड दिस लाइन विच इज़ पी एस लाइन पी एस, and this vector B which are parallel to each other, these two lines are parallel to each other, and therefore this angle will be theta. Also the triangle PSQ is a right angle, triangle PSQ is a right angle, which is angle Q is 90 degree in this triangle, angle Q is 90. And if I apply trigonometric ratios which are like sin theta and cos theta, which are perpendicular by hypotenuse and base by hypotenuse. So for this triangle PSQ, if you use sin theta, this angle is theta now. If you use sin theta, then it should be perpendicular length PQ and that divided by hypotenuse PS. And same for cos theta, it should be QS divided by PS. So trigonometric ratios use करेंगे, and after trigonometric ratios you can find the value PQ as PS sin theta, and you can find QS as PS cos theta. Now I will use another triangle, that is triangle OPQ, triangle OPQ, and in this triangle angle Q is again 90 degree. So I will use Pythagoras theorem, and if I use Pythagoras theorem, I can write that OP square equals to OQ square and plus PQ square. It implies OP square is equals to, now length OQ can be written as OS plus SQ. So we will write OS plus SQ whole square and plus PQ square. Now next part. But let me put this paper in front of you so that we can continue from here. So now what is the length OS and what is the length SQ and what is the length PQ? So we will rewrite as OP square equals to, now length OS, length SQ and this length PQ. फिगर देखते हैं आप. Length OS is the length of a vector. So you will write it A plus what is length SQ? So what is length SQ? Length SQ. This length SQ is PS cos theta. And what is PS? What is PS? So this length PS being a parallelogram is same as the length of vector B. This length is same as the length of vector B. So this length PS will be same as B. And if it is B, then QS is B cos theta and PQ is B sin theta. So here it will be B cos of theta and whole square, and then here it is B sin of theta whole square. And what is OP now? So it is obvious that length OP is the length of vector R. So you will write OP as R. So this is now R square, and it is A plus B cos theta square and plus B sin theta whole square. And if I simplify this expression, I get R equals to square root of A square plus B square plus twice AB cos of theta. And this is called resultant of two vectors. This is resultant of two vectors. As example, if I have one vector A in this direction and if I have another vector B in some other direction, for example, and the length of vector A is suppose that 10 and length of vector B is suppose that 20 and the angle between them is 60 degree. So what will be their resultant now? What will be their resultant? So resultant. What is the resultant of two vectors? Resultant of two vectors. So resultant of A and B is now square root of A, which is 10, square of 10, B square, that is 20 square, plus twice AB, that is 10 into 20, and then cosine of angle between them, that is 60 degree. And इसको simplify करेंगे, so you will get the resultant of vector A and B. So now we can simplify this expression. Cos of 60 degree is 1 by 2, and if it is 1 by 2, then this 2 and this 1 by 2 will be cancelled. 200 plus 400, 600 plus 100, 700, and then it is something like 10 root 7. So two vectors which are 10 and 20 and they are at an angle of 60 degree, the resultant of these two vectors will be 10 root 7 and in the same unit of measurements. जो unit of measurement A का होगा, जो unit of measurement B का होगा, exactly वही unit of measurement R का होगा. For example, if it is in kilometer, B is in kilometer, so here you will get in kilometers. If it is in Newton, B in Newton, the resultant is also in Newton. That means units of A, B and the resultants must be similar. So this is how we can find the magnitude of resultant part. This expression gives me the magnitude of resultant of two vectors according to law of parallelogram. So this is the magnitude of resultant of two vectors given by law of parallelogram. Now comes the next question. One more example. Let us do one more example. And now the example is like so. Length A is given as 16. That is, the vector A has a magnitude 16 and our vector B has a magnitude of say 5. Or let's take it as a 12. A has a magnitude 12, B has a magnitude 5. Nothing else is given. Nothing else. A is given, B is given, nothing else. That is, there is no information about. We don't have any information about angle between the vectors. There is no information about angle between A vector and B vector. And then the question is asked, what is resultant? What is the magnitude of resultant? That is the question part. What is the magnitude of resultant? So can we find the magnitude of resultant? Can we find the magnitude of resultant? You know the value of A, you know the value of B, but we do not know the value of this angle theta. And if we do not know the value of angle theta, then obviously you cannot find what is inside the square root. And if we do not know what is inside the square root, how can you find the value of r? And that means without knowing the angle between two vectors, it is impossible to tell what is their resultant. What is their resultant? But yes, one thing which we can tell here, that is, let me clear first thing. What is the magnitude of resultant? So answer is cannot be calculated. That is, cannot tell. And why we cannot tell the magnitude of resultant? As there is no information about the angle between vectors. So, but one thing which we can tell in this problem is the range of resultant. Right? You cannot tell what is the exact value of resultant, but you can tell one thing. What is the range of resultant? And how can we tell the range of resultant? How can you tell the range of resultant? Is as follows. In trigonometry, we all know that cos theta has a maximum value plus 1, and it comes when theta is 0 degree and many other angles. And we also know that cos theta has a lowest value, that is minimum value minus 1, which is for theta equals to 180 degree. And if I substitute the maximum value of cos theta in this expression, which is plus 1, if I substitute the maximum value of cos theta, which is plus 1 here, then you can get the maximum value of r, and that gives me the maximum value of r as we need to substitute cos theta equals to plus 1. So inside bracket you will have a square plus b square plus 2ab, and I guess we can write it a plus b. And what is the minimum value now? What is the minimum value? For that we need to put cos theta equals to minus 1. And if I put cos theta equals to minus 1, here, then I have a square plus b square minus 2ab, and for that I can write it a minus b or b minus a, depending whether a is more than b or b is more than a. So that is my range of resultant. And the range of resultant is useful in those cases where we are unaware of angle between the vectors. If we are fully aware of angle between the vectors, then by this expression we can find the exact value of r. But if for some reason we are unaware of the angle between vectors, then finding exact value of r is not possible, but finding the range of resultant is possible. And if you use this concept for this particular question. If you apply this result for this particular question where A is 12 and B is 5, then for this particular question you can tell that, well, the resultant R has a maximum value of 17 and a minimum value of 12 minus 5, 7, and that means we can tell that R should be more than or equals to 7 and less than equals to 17. So now listen the final statement now. In order to tell the magnitude of resultant of two vectors A and B, you need to know value of A, value of B, and the angle between A and B. If any of these three information is missing, we cannot find the resultant. Second thing, in the absence of angle between the vectors, we can only tell the highest possible value of resultant and the lowest possible value of resultant, which are A plus B and A minus B or B minus A. This is how law of parallelogram works. But ये जितना भी मैंने अभी तक आपके सामने एक्सप्रेशन डिस्कस किया है, वॉट एवर वी हैव डिस्कस्ड सो फार इज ओनली अबाउट द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ रिजल्टेंट. What about direction of resultant? What about the direction of resultant? We have not discussed about the direction of resultant. So चलिए इस फिगर पे आते हैं. एंड इस फिगर में अगर हमें डायरेक्शन ऑफ रिजल्टेंट देखना है तो व्हाट इज द डायरेक्शन ऑफ रिजल्टेंट इन दैट फिगर? नोटिस दैट दिस R is the resultant. And to tell the direction of resultant, to tell this direction, the direction of resultant, we will tell the direction of resultant in terms of angle which the resultant makes with vector A. Let's say that angle is alpha. The direction of resultant, listen carefully, the direction of resultant is always given in terms of angle which the resultant makes either with A vector or with B vector, which means the direction of resultant is always specified by some angle which that resultant forms with A vector or with B or with B vector. It's your choice. So I choose vector A. I choose vector A to tell at what angle the resultant is, and let that angle is alpha. And how can I find this angle alpha? How can I find this angle alpha? So yes, I can find this angle alpha. I can find the angle alpha very easily, and for that I need to choose this triangle. Focus on this diagram. This is my triangle. The triangle which is being shaded by me, जहाँ पर मैं पेंसिल से शेडिंग कर रहा हूँ यहाँ पर, this triangle, and that triangle is OPQ. If I choose triangle OPQ, if I choose the triangle OPQ, I can easily find what is the value of angle alpha, and I can use trigonometric ratio again, and this time I will use the ratio tan theta. So this time I will use the angle. Triangle is now OPQ, and I use tan of angle alpha, which is perpendicular divided by base, and the perpendicular is PQ divided by the base is OQ. And what is PQ? What is PQ? So PQ was already obtained. PQ was PS sin theta, and the PS was equals to capital B. So PQ was B sin theta. And what is OQ? What is OQ? So you have written OQ as OS plus SQ. OS plus SQ. And OS plus SQ means, OS means vector A की length, and SQ means this PS cos theta. So here you can write A plus B cos theta. And this way you can find the angle alpha which our resultant makes with angle with vector A. So let me complete the whole story now. Let me complete the whole story. For any two given vectors A and B at some given angle, this expression will tell you what is the value of resultant, and this expression will tell you at what angle the resultant is with vector A. This way you can find the direction of resultant. This can be used for finding the direction of our resultant vector. As an example, let's say again, this is my A vector and this is my B vector. Let's say vector A has some value, suppose that 20, vector B has some value, let's say again 20, and this angle is 60 degree. Now the question is, in which direction the resultant will be? What is the direction of the resultant? What is the direction of their resultant? Well, I assume that the resultant is at alpha angle with A. I can assume. And if I assume the resultant at alpha angle with A vector, I can use this relation for finding alpha. And if I use that relation, tan alpha equals to, notice that B sin theta, so B is 20, sin theta, that is sin 60, divided by A, which is 20, plus 20 cos 60. And what does it give to me is 20 सब कॉमन करके कैंसिल कर सकते हैं, and sin 60 which is root 3 by 2 and divided by this 1 and cos 60 1 by 2, the whole thing will come as 1 by root 3, and that means that alpha angle should be equals to 30 degree. So for this example, the resultant of A and B will be at 30 degree angle with our vector A. And what is the value of resultant? So the value of resultant R can be obtained as square root of A square, which is 20 square, B square is 20 square, plus twice AB, and then cosine of angle between the vectors cos 60, which is 1 by 2. And if it is 1 by 2, 400 plus 400 plus 400, 1200, and that comes as 20 root 3. So the resultant of these two vectors will be 20 root 3, and that will be at an angle of 30 degree with the vector A. So this was all about representation of vector, triangle law of vector, and law of parallelogram. I hope now the concepts are clear to you. Still, if anything is not clear, any concept is not clear, you are free to write in the comment box, or you can contact me on my WhatsApp, and I will re-explain these concepts. I will re-explain the concepts to you. Till then, I suggest you to watch this video with full concentration, so that you can learn the maximum concepts out of this video, and then you can practice the examples from the assignment, and then we can have a separate doubt class. Till then, thank you and enjoy the lecture.